investigation, because every aspect of our country, wherever you turn, you are faced with corruption. So inevitably, you are likely to confront those issues. But if you are doing those stories and you are corrupt, and I must say that these political parties we talk about, they are very close. If you go and take money from NDC to destroy MPP, the MPP people will know the moment you take the money. If you go to take money from MPP to destroy NDC, they know. And if you do that, you may want to still do your work, but you will be restrained from going all out to write against which political party that does wrong. So if you get yourself compromised, the result is that you can't do certain things. So integrity is very key if you want to do investigative reporting. It is said that those who come to Equity must do so with clean hands. So you can't have your hands dirty and be pointing fingers at others. The second one is that you may need to be courageous. You may need to be very courageous, because sometimes threats, insults, a whole lot of things. So you just have to have the courage. You also have to let your passion come from within. Journalism awards, money and others shouldn't be the reason you are doing it, because if you're doing some of these things, you get very powerful people who hate you and would frustrate your career in all angles. But if your passion is from within, if your fire is from within, nobody can quench it. But if you want to do it because you'll be praised, sometimes the very people you are fighting for will be used against you. So that motivation will soon die down and you'd go away. I also think you should be someone who will be patient and resilient and a bit thorough in what you're doing. That at the end of the day, you should know that whatever you do has consequences. I did a story, and because of that story, someone is in prison for 25 years. If I lied about it, I was in court when that trial of Ali Gabaz was ongoing. I was cross-examined and went through the process on the part of the state. I was a prosecution witness for the state. So if I had lied about it, I could have been exposed in the court. So whatever you do has consequences. And if you lie and someone is in jail because you did a false story, I'm not sure your conscience would ever set you free. And I think above all of that, you should also have the love for your country at heart, because you can easily give up. And if you're an investigative journalist, some of the things you see and hear, it is not everything you can publish, because some people will tell you certain things in confidence, and so if this information goes out there, they will surely know I gave you this information, so keep this one aside. There are some too who would tell you credible things, but because there are no documents to back it.
Now, let's look at this aspect of journalism. Why does our democracy need investigative journalism?
Our democracy needs investigative journalism because investigative journalism allows the journalists to dig deeper and bring out things that really matter. Our democracy, for me, is really not one of the democracies we should be proud of. Democracy is not about holding of elections without fighting. After all, we are not animals, so we are not supposed to fight. When Americans are having elections, they don't fight. They don't kill each other. When the British hold their elections, they don't fight. When Germans are going for elections, we don't hear them singing peace songs and campaigns and begging everybody not to fight. So why should we fight? The fact that we celebrate because we don't fight, for me, is problematic. We are not animals. We are human beings with brains. So we should be able to elect our leaders. So that's going for elections without fighting, for me, is not any achievement. It is something any reasonable set of people should be able to do. That's the basic thing. Now, I told you about young men and women who line up the streets from the morning till evening. And some don't even make any sales. They don't have places to sleep. And there are thousands along the streets. Go to Sodom and Gomorrah, the slum, and a lot of the people are from this part of the country. When it rains, there are people who sleep just outside. When it rains, they have to stand by shops till the rain is over. All these people live in this country that we call a democratic state, but they are not enjoying the benefits or the fruits of democracy. Democracy, or why we elect government, is to enable them distribute the resources amongst us. So if our democracy is constantly enriching a few people and majority of us are suffering, there are some people we completed school with who have never contributed anything to the state. As we speak, they're riding in very big cars, they have houses, and I don't even have a plot of land. Why? Because they went into politics and I went into journalism. That is not how life should be. So if we have a democracy that is has empowered only a few, and if we even talk of freedom of speech, I also sincerely believe that those who are making good use or who are benefiting from this freedom of speech are mainly the politicians. Apart from social media, which now everybody can contribute, just look at the number of people you have in this municipality, and only a few people are able to speak. Go to the assembly, you want information now. They say, Charlie, if I give you the information, I'll be queried. I'm a civil servant, if I speak, I'll be punished. Go to the police station, something is happening which is wrong. They'll tell, oh, this is political. I can't comment about it, it's true. And the DCA, the regional minister, and those who are in politics, they are almost always monopolizing the airwaves. So if you look at everything, we have democracy, but we are not enjoying the fruits of democracy. We have that peace that is supposed to translate into development. But because of corruption, look at what happened with SADA. Go to these places where those trees were planted and ask yourself, is that the best way we could have used this money that was voted for this part of the country where poverty can be seen, can be felt, can be touched, can be smelled? Is that the best way to use our money? So with this state of affairs, we need investigative journalists to be able to bring out these rots, name and shame the individuals involved, help to seal some leakages. And this JIDA report I did, there was a company called Better Ghana Management Services Limited, owned by the Zoomlion Group. We're paying management service to them, and in a month they were taking about 10 million cedis a month. In a year, that was about 120 million. When I did the story, that contract was cancelled, so this money will be saved for the state. The Agams Group, we retrieved about 60 million Ghana cedis directly from this company. And you ask whether I was doing this for my personal gain or whatever. All these money that we have received from the state, I didn't get a pesewa of it. But I'm happy that it will come back to the state, and this money will be used to provide roads, it will be used to provide water and other social amenities for our people. And sometimes the sad thing is that you do all of these things and you still have people who would attack you, insult you, vilify you just because you're standing up for something. But for me, I've never regretted going the way I have gone in my journalism career.
The lack of information when you move to some department, when you move to some individuals, it's difficult to get the right information. And that also tells us the need for investigative journalism. Now, are you disappointed with the failure of successive government in passing the Right to Information Bill? Are you always disappointed with this failure?
Yes, I'm disappointed for the politician. The information is not for the civil servant. It is for all of us, including them. So if you use my money to sign a contract, and I want to know what is in that contract, who is getting that contract, what are the terms of those contracts, I don't see why we should be denied that information. If, let's say, one municipal assembly awards a contract to somebody to do the road or build a market or a school, that information should not be hidden from the people of WA, because that money does not belong to the municipal chief executive. That money does not belong to President Akufo-Addo. That money belongs to all of us, including the homeless people who are sleeping outside, because when they go to borrow, they borrow in our name. We all pay the debt together. So if they used their pocket money to do projects, we wouldn't worry about it. But if they use the state funds to do projects, to award contracts, then that money is not their money. And they are not doing us a favor by giving us the information. It is our right to know. Because if I should use my money to invest, if I should invest my money in this company as a shareholder,